Hey, what up, everybody? How are you
What
guys
up?
doing?
Great.
We are here today. Oh my God, yes, we are doing great.
Yes,
we
we
are
are.
here today with a LinkedIn expert.
Yes.
If you don't know Daniel Alfon, you should. Daniel, how are you doing, sir?
Great. Thank you very much, Christian Ralph, for having me on What Up. I was looking forward to speaking with you.
Yes.
Definitely.
As a LinkedIn expert, we're just going to let you interview yourself. So just go.
Yeah, go. Farley, and we're just going to let you do it.
Because it's a minefield to me sometimes. You know, I like sometimes you're trying to connect, but like you'll connect with somebody, and then the next thing you know, they're pitching you immediately.
Yeah.
That's kind of the bad things to do on LinkedIn, right?
You're absolutely right. Please don't be that person.
Yes. That would
And in fact, you should have a connection strategy. And one of the best connection strategies that's possible is connecting with people you know well.
Yes.
It's very tempting to try and grow your network, but there's an organic network. You guys know X people. Some of those are on LinkedIn. And if you only connect with them, you could gain referrals. And that is one great way to increase your business or learn about promotions or or find another job. So you don't have to grow your network, and the metrics should not be LinkedIn metrics, but real life metrics. Like, what is your career objective, and can LinkedIn help you achieve that or not?
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like that. That's pretty cool.
I'm going to come right at you on this. Because,
Here he comes.
Well, you
Look
know
out.
what? This is the way we do it.
Yes, we do.
Right? Is there like a top 10, a top 5, top 3 things that you say these are your things that you need to do to be successful on LinkedIn?
He
Okay,
always
cool.
those questions that I'm going to ask. This
Comes
guy.
from like I go after it. Like, let's get to the meat right away. Let's find out what it is to be successful on LinkedIn. What do you truly believe we should be doing?
Okay, so could we pick an example, a real life example? It could be one of you, it could be the avatar of our audience, but I'd like to speak of something that's real. It will help us.
Yeah.
Give me an example.
So when you start up on LinkedIn, and then let's say you've been there a long time, right? It doesn't matter.
Yes.
However you got onto LinkedIn. What is your first thing that you would do to get noticed? Not even like reaching out to people. Like, how would you start to build your credibility? How's that?
Okay, excellent. So I'll suggest maybe 3 or 4 steps. The first would be to build your online presence on LinkedIn. And that should be aligned with your career objective. So if you're an entrepreneur, you want to grow your business. If you're an employee, you want to get promotions and get offers and move to the best next thing. So which of those would it be? An entrepreneur or an example of an employee?
Oh, okay. So let's talk about us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
entrepreneurs.
right. So we want to build our show on LinkedIn. Let's go that direction.
Excellent.
Right? Because there's a lot of people that we're connected to and supporters that are YouTubers as well.
Yeah.
And they're looking to do things like that. So how would you build your brand entrepreneurially on LinkedIn?
Okay, so we approach each other via Podmatch, and there's a link to LinkedIn, but the link to LinkedIn is not to your individual profiles, it's to the page, the What Up page. So one very important suggestion I would have is to focus on your individual profiles. So Rob's and Chris's, this is the engine that will bring you more traffic and more exposure than the page on LinkedIn. Because as LinkedIn users, we follow very few pages, but we may have hundreds, if not thousands of connections. So understand that even if you're an entrepreneur, if you employ a few people, your individual profile is what will bring you the exposure you want, the leads you want, and the growth of your business.
Well, let me dive deeper.
I wrote that down though, just because I did.
Let me dive deeper in that, because you gave the kind of the beginning, but when you're talking about working on your profile, is it because there's the resume part of it? Well, is it more about what you're posting?
No. Oh,
I was asking you if we were referring to an entrepreneur or an employee.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah,
so let's
have that. So what does it mean to build that? to
Excellent.
work on your profile?
If you want to grow your brand as entrepreneurs, if we're speaking about what up, then it's not, don't think about it as a CV. Think of it as a website that
Yeah.
needs to convert your ideal reader. Like, who would you like to be exposed to the show? And what information should you show them in order for them to check what up?
Yes.
And that means the profile itself is not a CV. It's a website that needs to take into account two questions. One, who's your ideal reader? So who's the ideal reader for the What Up community?
Okay. YouTube, folks from YouTube, a lot of YouTube people. And I'm also starting to get, we are starting to get, I was also involved in a lot of baseball and softball. Get a lot of people sports minded as well.
Well, let me
Excellent.
put this out and ask a question at the same time. So we do interviews and they're lasting, what, 15, 20 minutes or something like
Give or
that.
take, yeah.
Do you believe on LinkedIn or even further to take that as a whole and post it, or to take the gold out of those and just post the gold to draw and attract people to what we did?
Excellent. I think one of the best ways for you to get an ROI out of the 20-minute episode is to actually repurpose it in a number of ways.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. I'm not ruling out sharing the whole episode. That's fine.
Right.
But what you could certainly do is have clips, maybe a quote, maybe a provocative instant, maybe something that made you guys laugh, or something that would resonate with your audience. And out of a 20-minute episode, you could have easily half a dozen such moments. And these would be maybe 30-second clips.
Right.
And that means you can gain a lot more visibility to the episode and to the What Up show in general by splitting the whole episode and showing interesting parts to different people. Let's take the baseball example and the YouTube example.
Right.
If one of your guests spoke about baseball, then that clip could be shared across sports groups on LinkedIn, and even specifically baseball groups. And
Write that down, because that's no, because that was brilliant in what it is. Like, even sharing what you just shared there is gold.
Yeah.
Because that's a point that people will go and put that out, and they'll even clip it out. But why aren't we sharing it to all the groups that'd be interested in?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So again, we can assess the episode itself. And if there's a clip there that is specifically valuable to YouTube channel owners or YouTube viewers, there is a ton of LinkedIn groups focusing on video and YouTube. And these people would appreciate Rob's and Chris's ideas and the guest ideas about YouTube. And that's the content that you should serve them. And the baseball content should be served to the baseball people. So it sounds like a lot of work, but it's actually editing a 30-second clip and showing it to the right person at the right time.
I got you. All right.
That's gold.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, that's big. That's something we need to do.
Yeah, we do.
Right. And I hope that our followers are really listening to that point, because that's a huge step in the growth. So you're posting it because it does have that feed feel, right? Like, you go in and you read all the stuff from people, but I know, how do you share that to those groups?
Okay, so remember the questions we had. The first question was, who's your ideal reader?
Right.
And let's say, for the sake of our show discussion, we have the baseball community and we have the YouTube community, just to make it easier.
Right.
So as your individual profiles could cater to those two communities, you could take an episode that focuses on baseball and YouTube and have it as part of your individual profiles. It would stay there. It's evergreen. It would be interesting for people to check out in 2 months as it is today. And then the second step, instead of harassing our connections and shoving down their throat the newest episode, it would be to say, okay, what sort of communities are we after? Say baseball or YouTube. Take 10 minutes, run a simple search across LinkedIn, find the YouTube groups and find the baseball groups, join them. And then it will take you 5 minutes, take the 30-second clip and share the baseball in those groups and the 30-second clip about YouTube in the YouTube groups. And that would bring you relevant exposure, that's not based necessarily on your connections.
Right.
Because not all of our connections are necessarily into YouTube and baseball, right?
Right.
So our audience is not necessarily our connections. First question was simply, who's your ideal viewer on LinkedIn? And if our listeners and our audience here can answer that question, then everything else is way, way easier.
Yes.
You've connected so many dots for us right here because we've been working on trying to figure out how to make our LinkedIn better, to be quite honest, with, what up. And everything's kind of like coming all together for us in just this little, 5-minute conversation that we've been having so far. So, with that being said, I got to know, how did you become this expert? I mean, I know it's a generalized question, but one day you sat there and said, I'm going to become an expert in LinkedIn. Let's go. Why and how and all that kind of good stuff did you?
Okay, so when I was growing up, I didn't tell my parents I wanted to become a LinkedIn specialist. But what happened is that I took a sales job back in 2006. And for the first time, I was carrying a quota, and LinkedIn enabled me to shorten or to slash my sales cycle by 30%. Because for the first time, I was able to see the name of the person within the organization that I need to reach out to. And that's the moment, that was the aha moment that let me understand that there's something here under the hood. And gradually I specialized in LinkedIn. I'm very happy I did. And since we started this conversation, thousands of people have joined the platform. Every second, 2 people sign up.
Wow. Wow.
That is phenomenal.
You're absolutely right. Close to 850 million users, above average income, above average education, and many of our prospects are there.
All right, I'm going to go another direction. Is how valuable is your engagement with other people on LinkedIn as far as their posts? Yeah, like liking things. I don't see that people are going to see that, but like, is it more valuable to comment on other people's posts to try and build a relationship with people, or is there a better way to build trust with somebody on LinkedIn?
Excellent. That's an excellent question, and I'd like to suggest 2 quick answers. One is to ask ourselves, why are we commenting here? Do we want to show up as someone with insights about this? Is it the vanity metrics we're after? Or do we really add meaning and value to the conversation? Are we pointing them to the next step? And in some cases, if we're frank with ourselves, we do it only in order for other people to discover us. So a simple way to gain more trust would be to leave the platform. And hear me out, the best kept secret is to know when to leave LinkedIn. Say you discovered an interesting conversation with maybe an entity or company that could become a sponsor for What Up. So instead of shouting it on the rooftops, you look the person up and you reach out to them outside of LinkedIn and you show them that you've released over 100 episodes and you have a conversation. And out of that conversation, you may help What Up grow. And you don't have to stay in the LinkedIn gated garden. You can actually ask yourself, when is the good time to leave the platform? And when you find something that's really valuable for you, my advice would be leave LinkedIn. LinkedIn is showing you the name of the person. LinkedIn may have shown you the opportunity. But if you're only shouting it here, you not make it easier for yourselves to have a meaningful conversation with that person or that company.
Interesting.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm writing notes down because that's just the way that I am.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Hey. You know me, I'm a hieroglyphic kind of guy. This guy. So.
Well, let's ask you now because it's early. I'm going to jump in because you're waiting to figure it out. how do people find you? Because we always do that at the end.
Yeah, true. We do. We do.
And I would rather do it closer to the beginning, and that's got to be truer for everybody.
With
How do
pleasure.
people find you, and what is it that you're offering?
Thank you very much. DanielAlfon.com is the best place to find me because there are lots of content there. And I offer training, individual trainings and guides and downloads on the store in my website. And I wanted to go back to something you mentioned earlier about LinkedIn and about video. LinkedIn enables everyone to have LinkedIn live sessions within the platform. So as a video first or video-centric podcast or show,
Yeah.
LinkedIn Live could be one additional way for you to leverage the platform. And when I say additional, I don't think you need to ditch YouTube. LinkedIn, even though it's called LinkedIn Live, you could have pre-recorded shows. So you would have the post-production and editing and the clips and whatever, and you can decide that that episode will be released on the 25th of whatever, and that will bring more views out other than the people who have checked it out on YouTube or subscribed to the What Up channels.
Yeah, so let me
That's
kind of
amazing.
summarize that a little bit too,
Wow.
because so basically you're saying like we could literally do a live.
Yeah.
That will end up being up there if people didn't see it live, but really talking about what's coming up or what we've done to get
Excellent.
people excited about what is happening with us.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Excellent.
I just wanted to make sure we're on the
That
same
is
page.
pretty cool.
Yeah, and also
like-
for everybody else.
I watched the 100th episode you had when you remembered all sorts of things. This sounds like a terrific highlight of a show you could do on LinkedIn on other platforms. Maybe number 200 could be a good one. Okay. Another way to look at it would be to have maybe something a bit unusual, perhaps a panel. Like you would invite 2 or 3 previous guests.
Yes.
Yeah.
And one of the benefits of that would be that these guests would likely promote the episode ahead of time, promote the LinkedIn Live event ahead of time. So instead of just carrying your own weight, you would also have the guests themselves promoting the event that we're speaking at. And that's a good way to gain new listeners that would discover What Up for the first time.
Right.
That's amazing.
That's
I like
brilliant.
it. I agree.
Okay, so we gotta be a good, because this is kind of self-serving right now. We got to give back because we have other people that are looking for other things. They're coming to look for this LinkedIn expert.
They are.
People from the employment side.
Yes.
We need to kind of know some of those things that are gold for them that are looking to really find the next job or career or to move up in the world.
Because we were being selfish, being
Totally
the
selfish.
entrepreneurs. So, you know.
We were like, oh my God, this is gold for us. What about some of the other people that really are looking for the right job or a move or just to be bigger and noticed in the world on LinkedIn?
Yeah.
With pleasure. So I'll reword the first question we asked. Instead of growing our business, the answer should be the position I'm interested is in is X. I could look for a customer success position outside of Los Angeles, California, or I could be a full stack developer in New York, or I could be a QA manager or a studio manager in Boise, Idaho. When you look at your profile, you need to answer the hiring manager's question. Are you showing them the information that is likely to make them understand that you could be a good candidate? And the reason I was asking about the position you're after is that if you're looking for a position X, the information you need to show the ideal reader is different compared with position B or position C. So you can't be everything to all people. You need to try to niche down. Job seekers often fear niching down. They think they're missing out. But if you're trying to serve everyone, you end up serving really very few people, and you need to focus and understand how to make your profile recruiter friendly. And that means you could upload a banner, you could tweak your headline. I could share with you a giveaway that would help people improve their profile headline, because the headline is the most expensive real estate on our profile. And you could also featured content like a YouTube video. If I produced content that is video based, and I would pick the best video out there that I worked on, and I would feature that as part of my profile. And 99% of people who would come to your profile would see that video. And many of them will click, and that is likely to make them understand that maybe it would be a good idea to reach out to you.
Cool.
Yeah,
good.
That is cool.
I'm going to ask a real from out
He's
left
on
field.
fire.
I'm sorry, because there's so much going on in my head and I'm trying to pin it down. Let's say we focus on our YouTube and we want to promote it through our profile.
Mhm.
But you also have a job.
Okay.
Should you have a separate profile as an employee?
Short answer, no.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I wanted to sugarcoat it, but there's no way you could point people to the right Chris or the right Bob. And when they run a search, they will find both.
Yeah.
And finding two entities will make them way more worried about you than simply deciding what it is you wanted to promote.
Right.
You could decide, for example, if you take the something we discussed earlier, say you had the baseball content and you had also the YouTube content. So if you're working as a team, then you could decide that Bob is going to focus on the baseball side, and Chris is only focusing on YouTube, not in real life, but on LinkedIn. It will be easier instead of shooting from the hip and trying to focus on too many areas. You would find the niche that would suit you. Right. And if we translate this to the job seeker, what is more important? What is it that they want to promote in the next quarter or 6 months? A new position or the gig they're having? I know it's a tough question, but it's best answered before they tackle LinkedIn.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah.
Man, so much information, so much knowledge. It's almost like we need to have a part 2 on this.
Yeah, I think you can reach out to him because he's got free downloads.
Oh my God, yeah.
And he's going to have a bunch of stuff that we can't even cover in this short, obviously, interview.
Yeah, 20-minute interview or so. We definitely need to have him on again.
That would be great. Yeah.
Daniel, are you good with that?
Of course, you made my day.
Right
All
on.
right,
Yeah.
I love it.
We're going to see a lot of this great content out there in the bits too, because
my
the
God,
gold in here. Just grab it and share it to the world. I love it.
I know. And I have so many more questions, but I think it's definitely going to be a part 2.
Part 2, right?
Yeah, absolutely on this. Hey, folks, we want to thank you for checking us out. Like always, Daniel.
Reach out to Daniel, get the downloads. God.
Yes.
And learn like we just did.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to get the downloads. We're going to start applying these things.
Oh, yes, we are.
What up? Thank you so much, Daniel.
What up? Hey, everybody, have a great day and a better tomorrow.
Woo.